Hare Krishna, everyone. Welcome back to the Srila Prabhupada Book Reading Club. We are in the book like Lord Chaitanya, his life and teachings. But we need to go little depth on the a discussion between Lord Chaitanya and Ramananda Rai. So today we will read from the teachings of a Lord Chaitanya. Okay. So let's start our session with the Mangalacharan with the offering prayers to our Acharyas. ॐ ज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपं कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम्। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरु श्रीयुतं श्री भूतपदकमलं श्रीगुरुन् वैष्णवाञ्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहित कृष्ण चैतन्य देवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगण ललिता श्रीविशाखान्विताञ्च। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिन्धु दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कान्त राधा कान्त नमस्तुते। तप्त काञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभो नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिन् इति नामिने। नमस्ते सरस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। श्रीला प्रभुपाद की जय। So Hare Krishna everyone. So till now we have seen childhood pastimes of Lord Chaitanya, his student life, then how he spread the congregational uh, chanting, and how he started the Sankirtana movement, and how he take the sannyas. Then when we after taking sannyas on the order of his mother, on request of his mother, he moved he decided to make the headquarters in a Jagannath Puri. And then how he met the Sarvabhaum Bhattacharya, then how he recommend the Ramananda Rai, who is a very pure devotee of Lord Krishna. And now we are seeing that Lord Chaitanya is meeting Ramananda Rai, and they are discussing something. And in this meeting, Lord also requesting Ramananda Rai to come leave the job and come to Jagannath Puri, so we can do discussions, and we can relish the Srimad Bhagavatam, and we can do the pre-reaching. And yes, after hearing this instruction, Ramananda Rai leave the job and go to the Jagannath Puri, and he is one of the intimate associates of Lord Chaitanya, and almost for the 18 years, they enjoy being in a company. Hare Krishna, who wants to read? Yes, Muttamanikam Prabhu, you can read.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Chapter 47, Lord Chaitanya and Ramananda Raya. The author of the Chaitanya Charitamrita has described Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu as the ocean of transcendental knowledge and Sri Ramananda Raya as the cloud which is produced from the ocean. Ramananda Raya was the greatly advanced scholar in devotional service. And by the grace of the Lord Chaitanya, he gathered all transcendental conclusions, such as cloud gathers water from the ocean, as clouds appear from the ocean and then go all over the world to distribute water, which then returns to the ocean. So, by the grace of Lord Chaitanya, Ramananda Raya attained his higher knowledge of devotional service, and again, after retiring from service, went to join Lord Chaitanya in Puri. When Lord Chaitanya visited the southern part of India, he first went to the great temple known as Jyada Narsimha Kshetra. The temple is situated in a place known as Simachala, 5 miles from Visakhapatnam. The temple is situated on the top of hill. There are many temples in that area, but the Jiyada Narasimha Kshetra temple is the largest of all. The temple is filled with beautiful sculpture of interest so many students. And due to its popularity, it is very rich temple. An inscription in the temple states that the king of Jayanagara formerly decorated this temple with the gold and even covered with the body of deity with the gold plate. The facilitate attendance at the temple. There are 5 free apartments for visitors. The temple is managed by a priest of the Ramanujacharya section.
Hare Krishna,
Section.
Prabhuji. So
Hare Krishna.
yes, like Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is a compared to the ocean of a transcendental knowledge, and like Ramananda Rai is compared to the cloud, like who is arise from this ocean, and like who is a very greatly and like advanced in a scholar in a devotional service, and like he can go around the world and distribute the water, like which is of the pure devotional service. And like there is one more analogy of like this cloud and a sun, that like the Veda, we recently read na in Vedanta Sutra, like when Vedantist Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya trying to teach the Lord Chaitanya the Vedas. So like Lord Chaitanya says that like the Lord this Vedas and these Brahma Sutras, they are like very shiny like a cloud, like a very shiny like a sun, and like it is written by the Vyasadeva, who is the incarnation of a Vishnu. And so like you shouldn't give some interpretation. They are complete in themselves. But when you try to give some interpretations, and like when you try to mislead the people, and by talking of your self-interest, then you are becoming like a cloud. So this Vedantist and Mayavadis are like a cloud who are simply covering the sun, like a sun of a devotional service, or a son of a like a real knowledge. So we shouldn't hear them from the Mayavadis, impersonalists, and we shouldn't hear from like someone who is not authoritative. So Lord Chaitanya in the south, like he was traveling in the southern part, so he also visit the uh, Jayara Narsimha like Kshetra. Like this is very big, this is not that so big temple, but very rich temple. The king of Vijayanagara used to maintain this temple, even it is decorated with the gold, and even deities are smeared and covered with the gold. And like it is the 5 miles from the Visakhapatnam railway station, and it is very famous. And even there are some sculptures are there. Hare Krishna, like please raise your hand so that we can give the like a chance to reading. Yes, Sharmila Mataji can continue.
Hare Krishna Mataji. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. When Lord Chaitanya visited this temple, he praised the deity and quoted a verse from Sridhara Swami's commentary on Srimad Bhagavatam 7.9.1. Ugro apianugra evayam swabhaktanam rakeshari keshari va swapotanam anyesham ugra vikramaha. Although Lord Narasimha is very severe to demons and non-devotees, he is very kind to his submissive devotees like Prahalada. Lord Narasimha appeared as a half-man, half-lion incarnation of Krishna. When Prahalada, a boy devotee of the Lord, was harassed by his demonic father Hiranyakashipu, just as a lion is very ferocious to other animals but very kind and submissive to his cubs, so Lord Narasimha appeared ferocious to Hiranyakashipu and very kind to his devotee Prahalada. After visiting the temple of Jiyada Narasimha, the Lord proceeded further into South India and ultimately reached Vidyanagara on the bank of the Godavari. While on the bank of this river, the Lord remembered the Yamuna river in Vrindavana, and he considered the trees on the bank to be the forest of Vrindavana. Thus, he was in ecstasy there. After taking a bath in the Godavari, the Lord sat near the bank and began chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, sorry, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. While sitting and chanting, the Lord saw that the governor of the province, Sri Ramananda Raya, had reached the banks of the river, accompanied by his associates, which included a musical band and many brahmanas. Previously, the Lord had been asked by Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya to visit the great devotee Ramananda Raya at Kabur. The Lord could understand that the man approaching the river bank was Ramananda Raya, and he desired to see him immediately. But because he was in the renounced order of life, he restrained himself from going to see a person involved in political affairs. Being a great devotee, Ramananda Raya was attracted by the features of Lord Chaitanya, who appeared as a sannyasi, and he himself came to see the Lord. Upon reaching Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Ramananda Raya prostrated himself to offer his obeisances and respects. Lord Chaitanya received him by vibrating Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. When Ramananda Raya presented his credentials, Lord Chaitanya embraced him, and both of them were overwhelmed with ecstasy. The Brahmanas who accompanied Ramananda Raya were surprised to see them embracing in transcendental ecstasy. The Brahmanas were all stalwart followers of the rituals, and they could not understand the meaning of such devotional symptoms. Indeed, they were rather surprised to see such a great sannyasi touch a Shudra, and they were also surprised to see Ramananda Raya, who was a great governor and practically king of that province, crying simply by touching a sannyasi. Lord Chaitanya understood the Brahmana's thoughts, and considering the unfavorable situation, he pacified himself. After this, Lord Chaitanya and Ramananda Raya sat down together. Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya has spoken very highly of you, Lord Chaitanya informed him. So I have come to see you. Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya considers me one of his devotees. Ramananda Raya replied, therefore, he has kindly recommended that you see me. Ramananda Raya very much appreciated the Lord's touching a man of wealth. Generally, a king, governor, or any politician is always absorbed in thoughts of political affairs and pounds, shillings, pence. Therefore, such persons are avoided by sannyasis. Lord Chaitanya, however, knew Ramananda Raya to be a great devotee, and so he did not hesitate to touch and embrace him. Ramananda Raya was surprised by Lord Chaitanya's behavior, and he cited a verse from Srimad Bhagavatam 10.8.4. Great personalities and sages appear in the homes of worldly men just to show them mercy. Lord Chaitanya's special treatment of Ramananda Raya indicated that although Ramananda Raya was born in a non Brahminical family, he was far, far advanced in spiritual knowledge and activity. Therefore, he was more respectable than one who simply happens to be born in a Brahminical family. Although Ramananda, out of his meek and gentle nature, considered himself to be born in a lower Shudra family, Lord Chaitanya nonetheless considered him to be situated in the highest transcendental stage of devotion. Devotees never advertise themselves as great, but the Lord is very eager to advertise the glory of his devotees. After meeting for the first time that morning on the bank of Godavari, Ramananda Raya and Lord Chaitanya separated with the understanding that Ramananda Raya would come in the evening to see the Lord. Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Thank you, Mataji. So yes, here we can see, na, yes, Lord Narasimha appear he's very severe to the demons, and but he was ferocious to the demon Hiranyakashipu, uh, but when it, and the non-devotees also. But when it comes to his pure devotees who are submissive to the Lord Narasimha, he is very kind towards them, and he shows the lot of love, care, everything to his pure devotees. It is like a lion is very ferocious to other animals, but at the same time he's a very kind to his own cubs. So yes, Lord, after visiting this temple, Jiyara Nasima temple, then Lord proceed further to the Vidyanagara and on the bank of a Godavari. here Lord was in ecstasy because he was comparing the Godavari to the Yamuna and the forest to the Vrindavana. So he was in total ecstasy. And here he come he personally tell the Ramananda Rai that I come here to meet you. So we can see how fortunate Ramananda Rai is. Because he is the pure devotee, and Lord Krishna himself saying that I'm coming here to meet you. And this he take the bath and all in Godavari. Then governor of a province, he's none less than the king of that area. But when he comes, there are musical instrument, when the kings come, there is an elephants and horses and some musical band with them. And there with him, there were many brahmanas also come. They are here is it na they externally they are following rules and regulation, but inside there is no change. So Lord Chaitanya don't like, and someone who is simply externally doing something following rules and regulation of a karma kanda, but he do not develop the love for Krishna, then there is no use of such a following rules and regulation. And Lord Chaitanya doesn't embrace someone who is simply doing the simply doing the karma kanda and simply following the rules and regulation. But inside we should have that we should develop the a love for a Lord Krishna. Okay, so yes, generally sannyasis don't meet such people who are the kings and who are the some political leaders, because their only observation is in okay, this thing happened in this kingdom, and I want money, I have to fight with this they simply observe, their mind is observed in this thing. So sannyasis don't meet because their interest is not related to Krishna. Then why they should meet such people? So we can take out the some instructions from here that yes, we should avoid the association with the non-devotees, and someone whose mind is always absorbed in a sense gratification and some material desires, because if we stay with them for a long time, we will also start having the same kind of desires. But our mind should be absorbed in what, in a love for Krishna, in a devotional service of Krishna, or in material desires. If we simply observe our mind in material desires, it will be the reason for repeated cycle of a birth and death. And where in this cycle there is only suffering. So we are trying to get out of the suffering. We are not trying to get inside the suffering. Okay, so yes, not only yes, another instruction we can take when we are welcoming the devotees, we should welcome with the Hare Krishna mantra, or offering obeisances by the saying Hare Krishna, not a hi hello. Okay, so and we should it is better we should chant the Hare Krishna mantra once and offer our obeisances. So yes, Lord not only the welcome the Ramananda Rai, or who is the kingly, but he also embrace and they are in a transcendental ecstasy. Why? Because of Lord Chaitanya is a Krishna himself, and Ramananda Rai, he's a pure devotee of Lord Krishna. So they are in a transcendental ecstasy. But these people, these brahmanas, they are only karma kandi brahmanas. They are simply following rules and regulation. They don't know what is the spiritual advancement. They don't know what is the ecstasy. But so they are misunderstanding. Okay, he is the sannyasi, and Ramananda Rai, he's a king. Or on other hand, when it comes to birth, he's a Shudra. But then why sannyasi are embracing this Shudra? And why sannyasi is embracing this king, and even he is just like a king, but by embracing how how tears are coming from his eyes. So they starting pretending something. So it is understand by the Lord Chaitanya, because he stays in everyone's heart in a form of Paramatma. So he understand, considering the unfavorable situation, he pacified. And we can take another instruction from this, that when the conditions are not favorable, then that in that unfavorable condition we don't have to show our bhakti openly. We have to keep it secret. because like when you try when conditions are unfavorable, when you try to show your bhakti, like it will be the people in surrounding, they will simply create the problem, so you won't so you are not able to do your bhakti properly. So keep it secret when the conditions are unfavorable, keep it secret. So yes, then Lord pacify. And yes, he's from the non-Brahmical. When it comes to birth, it is from the Shudra family. But like why Lord embrace him? Because he's advanced in the spiritual knowledge and his activities. Okay, it's not just about the having the spiritual knowledge, but activity. Okay, we receive the spiritual knowledge, but now we have to act in the spiritual way. Like uh, we don't have to go for the mundane things. We don't have to go for the too much material things. We have to do our prescribed duties, but with a conscious, by keeping the Krishna in the center. Like whatever we are doing it for Krishna. So yes, devotees never advertise themselves. Oh, I'm the great devotee. Even like they don't say I'm chanting 16 rounds every day from the last 10 years, or like I am in ISKCON from for last 10 or last 15 to 15 years, or like 50 years. They don't what we say. They don't boast themselves. I read the Srila Prabhupada books. Every book I have read, I have heard every class. No, they don't say every mangalarti in the yes, when we ask them to inspire us, they can say, but they, for boasting themselves, they are not saying. But so devotees never advertise themselves. Okay, they are how great they are, but Lord is very anxious to advertise the glory of a devotees. Yes, like even the Lord Rama, he can uh, alone take the Sita, but he want to glorify his associates. So he built the bridge, and like all the fighting and all this taken place. Even the Krishna himself can kill everyone. Even in the starting, in the starting of a war, Krishna show the Arjuna in Vishwarupa that every person standing in opposite party and in his party is going to die, and like everyone is entering his mouth. But then also he instructed Arjuna to fight because he want to glorify his devotees. And even in a case of a Bhishma, he want to glorify the devotees. So Lord can do everything. He is the all powerful, but he give the chance so that his devotees can be glorified. So yes, in morning they meet, and then after they said that we can again meet in the evening. Hare Krishna, who wants to read? I need someone who can read little faster, okay? Because we have to cover more than 40 pages within 2 to 3 days, okay?
Shall I read, Mataji?
Yes, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. That evening, after the Lord had taken his bath and seated himself, Ramananda Raya came to see him with a servant. He offered his respects and sat down before the Lord. Before Ramananda Raya could even ask the Lord a question about the advancement of spiritual knowledge, the Lord said, "Please quote some verses from scripture about the ultimate goal of human life." Sri Ramananda Raya at once replied, "A person who is sincere in performing his occupational duty will gradually develop a sense of God consciousness." In this connection, he quoted a verse from the Vishnu Purana 3.8.9, which states that one worships the Supreme Lord by following the principles of one's occupational duty, and that there is no alternative for satisfying him. The purport is that human life is meant for understanding one's relationship with the Supreme Lord and acting in that relationship. Any human being can do this by dovetailing himself in the service of the Lord while discharging his prescribed duties. For this purpose, human society is divided into four classes: the intellectuals, Brahmanas; the administrators, Kshatriyas; the merchants, Vaishyas; and the laborers, Shudras. For each class, there are prescribed rules and regulations as well as occupational functions. The prescribed duties and qualities of the four classes are described in Bhagavad Gita 18.44 to 41 to 44. A civilized society should be organized so that people follow the prescribed rules and regulation for their particular class. At the same time, for spiritual advancement, they should follow the four stages of ashrama, namely student life brahmacharya, householder life gruhastha, retired life vanaprastha, and renounced life sannyasa. Ramananda Raya stated that Those who strictly follow the rules and regulations of these 8 social divisions can actually satisfy the Supreme Lord, and one who does not follow them certainly spoils his human form of life and glides down towards hell. One can peacefully achieve the goal of human life simply by following the rules and regulations which apply to oneself. The character of particular person develops when he follows the regulative principles in accordance with his birth, association, and education. The division of society are so designed that many people with different characteristics can be regulated under those divisions for the peaceful administration of society and for spiritual advancement as well. The social classes can be further characterized as follows: one whose aim is to understand the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and who has thus devoted himself to learning the Vedas and similar literatures is called a Brahmana. Second one, a person whose occupation involves displaying force and administering the government is called a Kshatriya. Third, one who is engaged in agriculture, herding cows, and doing business is called a Vaishya. Fourth, one who has no special knowledge but is satisfied by serving the other 3 classes is called a Shudra. If one faithfully discharges his prescribed duties, he is sure to advance towards perfection. Thus, regulated life is the source of perfection for everyone. One who leads a regulated life centered around devotional service to the Lord attains perfection. Otherwise, such regulated life is simply a useless waste of time. After hearing Ramananda Raya expound upon the proper execution of regulated life, Lord Chaitanya said that such a life is simply external. Indirectly, he asked Ramananda to describe something superior to such an external exhibition. Formal execution of rituals and religion is useless unless aimed at attaining the perfection of devotional service. Lord Vishnu is not satisfied simply by a ritualistic adherence to Vedic instructions. He is actually pleased when one attains the stage of devotional service. According to the verse cited by Ramananda Raya, one can rise to the point of devotional service by ritualistic performance. In Bhagavad Gita 18.45 to 46, Sri Krishna, who appeared in order to deliver all classes of people, states, Sve sve karmanyabhiratah samsiddhim lavate naraha swakarma nirata siddhim yatha vindati tachrunu. Yata pravritir bhutanam yena sarvamidam tatam swakarmana tam abhyarchya siddhim vindati manavaha. A human being can attain the highest perfectional stage of life by worshipping the Supreme Lord from everything from whom everything has emanated through his occupational duties. This perfectional process was followed by great acharyas like Bodhayana, Tarika, Tanka, Dramida, Guhadeva, Kapardi, and Paharuchi. All these great personalities followed this particular path of perfection. The Vedic injunctions also aim in this direction. Ramananda Raya wanted to present these facts before the Lord, but apparently, mere discharge of ritualistic duties is not perfection. Therefore, Lord Chaitanya said that it was external, indicating that if a man has material conception of life, he cannot attain the highest perfection even if he follows all ritualistic regulation. Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Yes, like so in the evening, as they discuss in the morning, like you should come, like we should meet in the evening. So Ramananda Rai come and when here Lord was taking the bath and like he was seated. You know, when you have a lot of time, na, or like we can manage, na, like it is better to maintain the suchi. When we take a bath, it's not only externally cleaning, but our mind also relaxes. So when you have the time, you can also take the bath in the evening. Okay. So even who has taken the Brahmin Diksha, they have to chant the Gayatri. For that, like they take the bath thrice a day. So like when you have the time, you can keep maintain the suchi condition and you can stay clean. You can take the bath also in the evening also. And when you take the bath, you can sleep very peacefully. In the mind, a lot of things are going on, but when we take a bath, like this, all things settle down. So yes, Ramananda Rai would have to ask the question about the how to advance in the spiritual knowledge, but the Lord Himself asked, "Please quote some verses from the scriptures, about the ultimate goal of human life." So like, yes, we are come in the human body, but we have forget what is our ultimate goal in this body. So like, yes, then Ramananda Rai said that he quoted from the Vishnu Purana 3.8.9 that like a person who's sincere in his occupational duty will gradually develop the sense of a God consciousness. Okay, like we have to follow the rules and regulation, and like we have to be very sincere in our occupational duty. Okay, when you are teaching, you have to, when you are a teacher, you have to be very sincere. When you are a kshatriya, you have to be very sincere in in your work. When you are a farmer, you have to be very sincere in your work. Then like it will gradually develop the sense of a God consciousness. But this is not true, this is external, na? For this, like there are four classes in four classes in the society. First is the Brahmana, who give the knowledge to Vedic knowledge to all the people. Brahmanas are considered as a head, and then the Kshatriyas, who are the administrator, like the kings and his senapatis and all, who give the protection to the Brahmanas and the Vaishyas and all the society members. And that there are the merchants, who are the farmers, and like who keep the cows and protect the cows. And then again there are the Shudras. Shudras are someone like who serve the all three classes because they don't have the intelligence, and they are simply they are simply happy by serving all three classes. Okay, so yes, so we are like Ramananda Rai is saying that we have to follow the rules and regulation of a particular class. And there are in this in the at the same time, for the spiritual advancement in this all the classes, there are four stages. First is a brahmacharya, the student life, where we get the knowledge about the a supreme lord, and how we have to it is kind of a training before entering a householder life. And then another is a grihastha, and then like a retired life, that is vanaprastha, and then sannyasa. So yes, there are if someone want to spiritually advance, like he should go through these stages. So Ramananda Rai says that you have to simply by following rules and regulation of these classes and these stages, we can become the spiritual advance. And by following rules and regulation, like character of one person is a developed. So yes, a regulated drive is the source of a perfection for everyone. Like we can also take it this now, like if you regulated your eating, when you regulated your sleeping, when you regulated a meeting, regulated defending, when you regulate everything, like even when you regulate your entertainment, when you regulate all the things, then like you will become a someone who is a perfect in everyone in every yes. So to become perfect in a devotional service, so Ramananda Rai is saying that we have to simply follow the rules and regulation, or like this is a karma yoga. But like what Lord Chaitanya is saying, this is a external. They are following rules and regulation, but is all is external, and there is no use of following such rules and regulation, like where we cannot develop the love for Krishna. This is what is the important. Like we have to develop the love for Krishna, and we have to develop the relationship with the Supreme Lord. And unless and it is useless, and unless it accumulate in the perfection of a devotional service. Like yes, the following rules and regulation is useless, doing the karma kanda is useless, unless like it will lead us to develop the love for Krishna and the perfection in a devotional service. And like Lord Vishnu is not satisfied by simply following rules and regulation, and like we have to be very strict about the rules. No, but Lord Krishna is a satisfied. Lord Vishnu is a satisfied when we reach the stage of a pure devotional service. So yes, we are following four regulative principles. We are following the instructions of our gurus and our acharyas, even Krishna. But like we are simply, if they are a mechanical, Krishna is not satisfied. Krishna is satisfied like when we develop the love for Krishna. Okay, you are attending the Mangal Aarti, but inside that, like okay, someone told me that's why I'm attending Mangal Aarti. No, inside we should have the lovingly feelings for Krishna. Okay, I can see the Lord Krishna. I can begin my day by seeing my Govinda, my Radharani, and by offering my prayers to Narasimha or Tulsi Devi, who is a very pure devotee of Krishna. So we have this loving feelings, not that oh someone has told me and I have to take initiation, so I must attend because someone will be required. No, this thing should not be, we shouldn't do the things materially or like mechanically, but like Krishna even says in a Patram Pushpam Phalam Toyam Shlokana, like he accepts the love and the devotion. He's not going to merely accept the fruits and all these things. He accept the love and like love and devotion you show in the offerings. So like apparently discharging of a rules and regulation wasn't sufficient. They all are external, and from this like we cannot attain the like pure devotional service. So from tomorrow we will cover the next chapter. Okay, the relationship with the Supreme Lord. So Lord Krishna, like Lord Chaitanya, reject this karma kanda. Now we can move towards the like Mukund Mala Sutra. Hare Krishna. And in the past verses, we say that see that like we don't have to think about what people will think, say about us, like or think about us, but we have to think in this way that what like is it whatever I'm doing, my Krishna is liking it or not, or like what will my Srila Prabhupada will think about me, and then we learn about like how we have to engage our senses in Krishna's service. Like we are from the eyes, we have to take the darshan, from the legs we have to go towards the temple, like with the hands we have to serve the Krishna, with the ears we have to hear the Hari Katha, with the nose we have to smell the tulsi leaves and the flowers offered to Lord Krishna. So like from the tongue we have to glorify the Lord. So everything is like given, like how we have to uh, do. And here it is also we learn that like how like we have to fix our mind in Krishna's lotus feet. And we also seen that like we have to take the shelter of Krishna. We have to take the dust of a lotus feet of Krishna, and that means we have to follow his instruction and follow the his pure devotees instruction. And we also see that like this yogas, the niyama, and like to attain the samadhi stage, it is very hard when it goes to the yoga. Like we have to do a lot of austerities, but like and they are impractical and unbearable in this age. But and yes, mind is also restless, and Arjuna is saying that he can control the wind, but it is very hard to control his own mind. So like this yoga system is very hard to practice. Even it is hard for Arjuna, then what to speak about us. But on other hand, bhakti yoga is easy. Like we have to chant and hear the holy names. We simply have to hear the glorification of Lord and like his pastimes. Okay. And like from whom we have to hear? We have to hear from the realized devotees and the pure devotees, from someone who is a bona fide. And like we also seen that when we are not thinking about the Krishna, when we are thinking about the all other things except Krishna, then all are the useless. And like one thing we may think that this is auspicious, but next moment like it can be a tragedy. So yes, and like we also seen the prayers now, like, oh Madhava, please do not let me even even the glance at those pious credits are depleted that they have no devotion. So like here, like he's a King Kurashekara is praying that like so he shouldn't be too much entangled with the non-devotees, like who are not interested in devotional service. And like he's praying, like let me not get like attracted towards this non-devotees and material people. And like I should and like by entangling with this material people, I may forgot to serve you, and like I may forgot to remember you, and again fall in a cycle of birth and death. So like we should give up the non-devotees association even we are meeting. Like we can hear from this eyes, ears, and like from this ear we have to remove. Like nothing should be processed inside ourselves. Otherwise, like we will also start getting the same material desires and we will be fall down. Hare Krishna. Who wants to read? Yes, Vinod Prabhu can start reading.
Yes, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Translation. O enemy of Madhu and Kaitaba, O Lord of the universe, the perfection of my life and the most cherished mercy you could show me would be for you to consider me the servant of 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 your servant. Purport. This verse is startling for its repetition of the word servant 7 times. One can almost picture all the servants of the Lord whom Kurusheshra wishes to serve. Direct servants of Lord Krishna are Srimati Radharani or Lord Balrama and other gopis and cowherd boys. Some of the gopis and cowherd boys are assistants to the direct servants. Among these assistants are the Manjaris who help Radharani serve Krishna and who, according to her, experience a happiness even greater than hers. The Vaishnavas, spiritual masters, especially those in the Madhurya Rasa, serve the gopis, and each spiritual master is being served by his disciples. In the modern age, Lord Krishna appeared as Lord Chaitanya, who was served directly by the 6 Goswamis of Vrindavan. And these Goswamis also took disciples such as Krishnananda Kaviraja, who in turn accepted disciples, and His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada is in the 11th spiritual generation of the Chaitanya Sampradaya. So the phrase Tavat Bhartya Bhartya Paricharkha Bhartya Bhartya Bhartasya is not only pleasing poetry, but it is an accurate description of the parampara. Each devotee is serving a previous servant of the Lord. To consider oneself a servant of all the Vaishnavas and to put their foot dust on one's head is not demeaning. It is the best way to please the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Lord Krishna Prahlad Maharaja told his father that unless one humbly serves the Vaishnavas and bathes in the dust of their lotus feet, one can never attain devotional service to Krishna. King Kulsheshra says that if the Lord grants this prayer, it will be the display of his most cherished mercy. But why does he ask to be so many times removed from direct service? Why not ask simply to be the servant of the Lord? One reason is that the Supreme Lord does not accept direct service without service to his servants. As Krishna states in the Adi Purana, my dear Partha, those who say they are my devotees are not my devotees, but those who claim to be devotees of my devotees are actually my devotees. The pure devotee's chief aim is to please his worshipable Lord, and a wise Vaishnava knows what will please him best. Becoming a servant many times removed of the Lord's bona fide servants, it is because the servants of God are so dear to the Lord that one can please him best by pleasing them. Srila Prabhupada compared the process to an ordinary person's attempt to please a very great man. Normally, an ordinary man cannot even approach the great man, but if by good fortune he is able to please the great man's pet dog, then he can quickly achieve the favor of the celebrated person. Another reason is devotee wishes to serve through other devotees is that he is naturally humble. He wants to take their place below rather than push himself forward. He wants to serve all the devotees or even worship the place where they have walked. The genuine devotee does not rashly presume that he is a member of the inner circle of the Lord's most dear ones. Lord Chaitanya has advised us that if we really wish to chant the holy name constantly, we should consider ourselves lower than the straw in the street, devoid of all sense of false prestige, and ready to offer all respects to others. We should serve not only recognized devotees but all living entities by giving them Krishna consciousness. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you, Prabhuji. So here, like, it is like giving the stress on the parampara system. like we cannot directly serve Krishna, but we can serve through the parampara. Like whatever flowers we are offering, like even during the Mangal Aarti and all the pujas, we firstly offer the service to our guru. Then guru take the service, he offer the service to his guru, and like in this way it goes to the Radha Rani, and ultimately Radha Rani give the service to the Krishna. And this is the parampara system. Like everything goes in the chain. Why? Because like Lord Krishna himself is just saying that now like a best way is to please him, to please his devotees, because his pure devotees are very dear to him. If we simply please the pure devotees, we can ultimately Krishna is satisfied. So it is, we can take the one analogy that if someone please our child, like then mother and father are more pleased. So similarly, when we serve the pure devotees, Krishna become more pleased. And yes, like so even we sing in the during the Guru Ashtakam na, that yasya prasadat bhagavad prasada. So when we please our spiritual master, our gurus, then Krishna will be automatically pleased, because we cannot please the Krishna, like it requires a lot of purity in heart. But like our gurus can simply please if we follow the his instruction, when we do the pre-reaching, when we do little seva. Even like Srila Prabhupada used to cry and like told his devotees that like my Guru Maharaj has sent to you, and even the Srila Prabhupada thank all of them for completing for helping them in his mission. So this is the attitude of a pure devotee. Like he is always like a compassionate and has the gratitude towards even his servants. So like yes, it is very easy to please the pure devotees as compared to when it comes to pleasing the Krishna. But when we please the pure devotees of Krishna, we can easily please Krishna through the pure devotees. So yes, like we cannot like even in there are Ashtasakis like who help the Radha Rani, and then there are Manjaris who help the Ashtasakis. Like Manjaris don't think that they want to become Ashtasakis, or they don't think they have to become the Radha Rani. Like when they serve like the Ashtasakis and like Ashtasakis Radha Rani, they are happy in their serving attitude. They are happy in their position. They don't think, and like whoever think like in this way, they fall down in the material in this material world, because they want to enjoy. Like when we have this feeling, oh, why Radha and Krishna, oh, like we have to worship, like why, like everyone should worship me. That's the reason we fall down in the material world. So yes, like here it is written, the best way to please the Supreme Lord is like we have to humbly serve the Vaishnavas. Like even when we are asking the questions to the Vaishnava, it should not be in a challenging spirit. We should be humble and we should be submissive. And like we have to take the bath in the dust of his lotus feet. So it means like we have to follow his instruction. And like one who is not doing this, like he is not going to get the devotional service of Krishna. And this shloka is stated by Krishna himself, na? Like yes, in Prahlad Maharaja, like Prahlad Maharaja told this shloka, and Prahlad Maharaja received knowledge from the Narad Muni when he was in his form. So one reason that Supreme Lord does not accept the diverse like direct service, like without serving his servant. So Krishna is not going to accept, like unless we are a very pure in a heart, unless we are a pure devotee, Krishna is not going to accept whatever things we are offering. But like but when we offer the things and the items to the spiritual master, and when we serve his servants, then like then Krishna can be accepted through the through the gurus and from the senior devotees. So like here, like Lord Krishna is also saying that in Adi Purana, that my dear Partha, those who say they are my devotees are not my devotees. Those who claim the devotees of my devotees are actually my devotees. So like when we are claiming that, oh, I'm very great devotee of Lord Krishna, like Krishna don't accept us as a devotee. But when we say that, oh, I am like a devotee of a devotee of a Srila Prabhupada, or like one of his oh, I'm the devotee of six Goswamis. When we become the devotee of a Krishna's devotee, then Krishna accept us as a devotee of a Krishna. So this is the thing, that we have to simply become a servant of the 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 Lord Krishna. So this is the way to please the God, to become simply becoming the servant. And there are the two ways. One way is to become a dasanudas, like we have to become a servant, and like we have to do all the sevas which are instructed, like from the cleaning pot, cooking, like cleaning the temple, and doing the book distribution, everything. And other hand, like there are some sevas like where we can enjoy, like or like we have that desire to enjoy it every, like I should get the fame, I should get the popularity, like everyone should worship, like if you become the temple president, or if you become the head of, or like any department, like you have that desire. Like if you have that desire, then this is not good. Like everyone was like, if you have the opportunity to clean the utensils in the kitchen, or like if you have the opportunity to become a temple president, like the most of the peoples are running behind, like running behind the name and fame. So but this is not a proper way, like this is not a like a proper way as suggested by the Lord Krishna. We have to simply become a servant of the servant of the servant. So like in a dasanudas there are a lot of services, so we can take that sevas. Hare Krishna. Who wants to read? Muthamani Prabhu, you want to read?
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Yes, Prabhu.
Translation. My dear tongue, I stand before you with joined palms and beg with you, recite the names of Lord Narayana. These names describing the Supreme Absolute Truth, we bring great pleasure as if excluding any purport. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. At first, our tongues may be unwilling to chant the Lord's name. Describing the neophyte chanter, Srila Bhakti Vinoda Thakura states some bear only the burden, others appreciate the true worth of things. Srila Rupa Goswami also recognizes the plight of the beginner and encourages him to pursue his chanting, even though it seems dry and unpleasant. The holy name, character, pastimes, and the activities of Krishna are all transcendently sweet, like sugar candy. Although the tongue of one afflicted by the jaundice of avidya, ignorance, cannot taste anything sweet. It is wonderful that if a person simply chants those sweet names carefully every day, a natural relish awakens within his tongue and his disease is gradually destroyed at the root. That is nectar of instruction 7. We may also take heart in the example of Namacharya Haridasa Thakura. Although born in a Muslim family, he received the mercy of the holy name and began to chant Hare Krishna constantly. In this way, he achieved the highest perfection of love of God. Indeed, he was such a exalted devotee that a Lord Chaitanya himself praised him as if speaking with the five mouths. We cannot imitate Haridasa Thakura, but it is encouraging to know that although one may be low born, one can overcome all obstacles by the mercy of the holy name. Moreover, Haridasa Thakura always remained very humble and wanted to remain aware of his material disqualification. He therefore did not want to associate too intimately with the Lord Chaitanya, and he did not attempt to enter the temple of Jagannath Puri. Cultivating humility in the mood of Haridasa Thakura is an absolute requirement for one who wishes to taste the nectar of the holy names and to chant constantly. The honey within the holy name is remembrance of Krishna. That's why chanting the name brings ecstasy. As Srila Prabhupada writes, the more one chants the names of Krishna, the more one becomes attached. Thus, service by Sravana and Kirtana, hearing and chanting about Krishna is the beginning. The next process is Smarana, always remembering Krishna. When one is perfect in hearing and chanting, he will always remember Krishna. In this third stage, he becomes the greatest yogi. The matchless gift, page number 89. Whether we are still at the beginning stage of bhakti, afflicted with avidya, or whether we are starting to appreciate the true worth of things, let us all go to chanting then the holy names of the Lord. and let us relish verses from the authorized devotees who tell us the honey in the holy name, such as this one by Srila Sanatana Goswami. Jeta Jete Namananda Rupam Murari Viramida Nija Dharma Dhyana Bhujadi Yatnam Katam Abhi Sakrit Atam Mukti Dam Praninam Yat Paramam Amritam Ekam Jivanam Bhusanam Me. All glories to the all blissful holy names of Sri Krishna, which causes the devotees to give up all conventional religious duties, meditation and worship. When somehow or other uttered even once by a living entity, the holy name awards him liberation. The holy names of Krishna is the highest nectar. It is my very life and my only treasure. Brihad Bhagavatamrita 1.9. Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you, Prabhuji. So, yes, my dear tongue, I stand before you with the joint palms and I beg you to recite the names of the Lord Narayana. The names describe the supreme absolute truth, bring the great pleasure as exuding honey. So, yes, we can see like our senses are like not in our control, our even the mind are not in our control. We are the godas, like we are the servant of this we are the serving this mind and senses, but we have to control. And how we have to control? By simply engaging them in Krishna's service. Like when we are chanting and our mind wanders here and there, we have to take back a mind and like we have to tell our mind that like this is the time for a chanting, you don't have to think about the other things. So we should chastise our mind. We don't have to simply follow the what mind and senses so says. Or like if you simply follow, like they become more and more stronger and they will drag you from the our aim of life. Okay. So yes, Rupa Goswami is saying that we are suffering from this ignorance of vidya in a form of a jaundice, na? We are having the jaundice of this ignorance and this material conditioning. And so when we have a jaundice, we cannot taste the sugar candy as it is sweet. We feel it like a bitter. So, but what is the process? We have to take the sugar candy every day. We have to take the sugar cane juice every day. So it will act as a medicine. And when our disease get cure, then we can relish the sweetness of the sugar candy and sugar cane juice. So yes, we are not having the that taste, like that sweet taste for the for chanting. We are doing simply because it is told by the Srila Prabhupada. And we are not having the nectar, a taste for hearing the a nectar of a Hari Katha. We are not having the taste for any spiritual things because currently we are in a ignorance. We are having the avidya, and this is the purificatory stage. Here we are curing our a material consciousness. And but when this disease of the material consciousness is cured, then we can release the holy names and Hari Katha of a nectarian Hari Katha of our Lord Krishna. But sweet names carefully every day, and the natural relish awakens within his tongue, and his disease is gradually destroyed at root. And we are not simply treating the symptoms of a disease; we are trying to cure the disease and destroy the disease from the root. So, but every day we have to do. It's not like the one day we are chanting, next day we are not chanting, or one day we are hearing, next day we are not hearing, one day we are reading, next day we are not reading. So we have to do it all the things every day. Then only our purification will be faster, and we can relish the nectar of this Harikatha and holy name. So yes, Namacharya Haridas Thakur, he has because the mercy of a holy name, he become the very pure devotee of Lord Chaitanya, and even Lord Chaitanya used to praise himself, but he is very humble, meek. He knows that he is from the Mohammedan family, so he do not enter the temple of Jagannatha. But when we are when we are in a place of Haridasa, we used to think, oh, the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he's a god himself. He used to embrace me and he used to praise me with the five mouths, and then like who are you to stop me from entering a Jagannatha temple? Like we will develop that kind of attitude, like Lord Chaitanya personally praise me, Lord Chaitanya personally like what we say, hug me. So like embrace me. So like we go in a boasting mode, but like Lord Krishna don't like someone boast. Like pure devotees of Lord, they don't advertise themselves, but Lord Krishna like to advertise his pure devotees. So like we shouldn't boast in this way. Like when we develop the pride, then we should tell ourselves that, oh, you are developing the pride, but Krishna don't like the pride. If the moment you develop the pride, you fall from the position of becoming a devotee. So like Krishna won't accept. So we have to be very mindful and careful, like when we are dealing, even if when it comes to the thoughts. And like Srila Prabhupada, what Srila Prabhupada is saying, the more one chants the holy names of Krishna, he become more attached to the Krishna. So similarly, we also see if someone is eating more and more junk food, he's getting attached to the junk food. Like if someone is like giving time to the lot of time to the one person, he gets attached to that person. So Krishna is also person, like he's the supreme person. When you give the time to Krishna, then only we can develop the attachment for Krishna. But like this is the first stage of a love, like we have to give the time to our partner and like to our mate. So but when we are saying, oh Krishna, I love you, but like we are not giving time, so like it is like a being hypocrite. You have to give time to Krishna, you have to give time for the chanting, you have to take out the time for reading, you have to take out the time for hearing, and you have to manage all of these things, because this Krishna consciousness is the primary thing and all other things are a secondary. Yesterday, I got very good shot of like a Srila Prabhupada, where he is saying that like everything like we should understand this human form of life. This is very rare opportunity, and like when we understand this rare opportunity, then we can act in that way. Like Krishna consciousness should be center of everything, and like everything should revolve around my Krishna consciousness, my like a physical, mental, everything. So yes, like I will share the short like when I will post the pages and that, then you can go through that. And if we, daily we have to hear something from the Srila Prabhupada and we have to implement that. But we are not taking the spirituality seriously. It means we are still in ignorance. Like even after hearing this world is a dukkhalayam, a shashvatam, still we are like trying to make it trying to make it a sukhalayam, but this is not possible. Okay, it is always better to follow the instruction of Srila Prabhupada and Krishna and like follow the process and like advance in the spirituality and not to stay in this miserable world. Okay, so like yes, and here we have to hear from Hari Katha, or we have to instruction from someone who is the authorized devotee in our parampara. So all glories to the all blissful holy name of Sri Krishna. But currently we are not feeling that the holy name is so blissful. We are not having the taste because we are currently in a disease condition. The more we chant, the more our disease will be cured. So, which is the cause of a devotee to give up all the conventional religious duties, meditation, and worship? Like when we are pre-reaching, we don't have to pre-reach the four regulative principles to the new people because they are too much attached to the tea, coffee, non-vegetarian food, and all other things. We simply have to tell them to read one Bhagavad Gita shloka and chant one round. This will purify them, and like when they start to purify themselves, the Krishna is seated inside their heart, and like they will guide them. Like even like before joining the Krishna consciousness, like I was like very fond to eat the non-vegetarian foodstuffs, and I was like I used to like relish them like nothing. And like I love to have them like every single time when I want a food. But like when I started chanting, when I started hearing the Hari Katha, then I don't have to act externally to give up all these things. Like it come from inside. Okay, this is the not good. Lord Krishna don't like. We shouldn't take. It comes from the inside. So like this, like whatever they are saying, like yes, this is applied. Like sharing my realization that like I used to love that. Even my parents and my family members used to think that how can I give up the non-vegetarian? But like I haven't put any extra effort. It comes from the inside. So like when we are preaching, we don't have to tell them about the four regulative principles. We simply tell them to chant the holy name and read the one Bhagavad Gita shloka. These are the more than enough. Then Krishna will give them intelligence. Na? So yes, like when we chant the holy name, like then we can give up all the conventional religious duties because they are a karma kanda. We are doing like we are simply doing the business of with the devata. Oh, give me job, give me this, give me car, and give me house, and give me this and that. Like this is the simply business, and like what is use of these things because they are a temporary. With the body, they are going to stay here only. Nothing will become with us. So like why not to engage in those activities like by doing that activities like these things will become with us like and they will help us to like fulfill our aim of life. So yes, like something which is not making you to love Krishna, like taking you to near Krishna, then we should give up all these things. And even like simply uttering the holy name, like without offenses, okay, without offenses, that it will avoid a celebration. But with pure devotee of Krishna, they don't want a liberation. They simply want a transcendental loving service to the lotus feet of the Lord. And yes, like holy name of Krishna is the highest nectar, and like in the Mary, it is in my very life, my only treasure. And we can understand the Rupa Goswami. They are the ministers right, in that minister in that time, and like when they retire, they have the like a boat full of gold coins, and how like they are like enjoying the kingly things, like they're having a lot of wealth but they renounce everything. Even like they used to throw that touchstone, like chintamani, like from simply by touching the iron, like it can be get converted into the gold. So they having all the opulences, but then also what they are saying, in my very life, my only treasure is the holy name. So but we are not thinking that the holy name is my treasure. We are thinking that all my material assets are my treasure. Then like we must be go on something wrong path because we are trying to chasing this wealth, and someone who has have a lot of wealth, he is saying that the holy name is my treasure. So like we shouldn't go through, like we shouldn't get the kicks and then we should learn. Like it's that simply by hearing we can read. This is the this is the intelligent person behavior. Simply by hearing, they are learning. They don't go through the experience, then they are learning. So Hare Krishna, today we can end here. Vanchakalpatarigasta kripa sindhubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namah. Ananta Koti Vaishnavrinda ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna
Hare
everyone.
Krishna. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Kade pranam.
Thank you
Krishna
everyone for
Mataji.
joining. Hare Krishna.
Pranams Mataji.
Mataji,
Pranams
Hare
Mataji. Happy Krishna conscious day. Please take the instruction and try to apply in your life. Otherwise, we are simply coming and going. Like there is no use, na. We have to take instruction and we have to apply. So then only we can advance, in spirituality in the little faster manner. Okay. Hare Krishna.
Yeah.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Sadar Pranam.